Hey guys, Joe from American Trucks, and today I'm going to be reviewing and installing the upper replacement grille in chrome fitting all 15 to 17 F-150s, excluding the Raptors. Now this grille is going to be perfect for the F-150 owner who's looking to change up the styling of the front of their F-150 with a chrome grille that looks like it could have come straight from the factory. Just like the factory grille, this has that 3-bar styling that's so iconic of the newer F-150s, and it's manufactured out of automotive grade ABS plastic, which is going to be durable but lightweight, and then features a bright chrome finish which complements the front end of our F-150 here, namely the reflector housings on the headlights and fog lights perfectly. Now another great thing about this grille is if your truck was optioned with a front-facing camera, a lot of grilles don't allow for that to peek through. This one's great, it already has a slat cut out for that camera. Now if this bright chrome is not your thing, we also offer this same exact grille with a matte chrome finish, so it's gonna look chrome but be a little bit less reflective. Or if you're going for the blackout look, we also have this in matte black too. Not only is this grille great as an upgrade, but if your original grille does break, this is perfect to drop in as a replacement. Now, if that is the situation and your grille broke and you're replacing it, I just wanted to make a quick note, this does not come with the Ford emblem, so if that is broken, you will have to pick up another one of those. Now, it's a nice product, it fits perfectly, and on top of that, with pricing coming in at around that $250 price point is not too bad, especially when considered all the other F-150 grilles on our site that cost double or even triple the price. Install for this grille is going to be pretty easy as well. I'm going to give it a harder 1 out of 3 wrenches on our difficulty meter, but it should still only take you an hour with some basic hand tools, as there's no drilling or modifications required to get this on there. So let me show you how it's done. For this install, you will need an impact or a ratchet, flathead screwdriver, 6-inch extension, trim panel removal tool, 8mm socket, and 10mm socket. So first things first, we got to open up our hood. Now the way we're going to approach removing this grille is we're going to take the shutter assembly with it and then transfer the shutter assembly over to our new grille. That's the easiest way to do this. Now in order to get at that, we have to remove this radiator shroud. We're going to remove this body panel color piece here. Then there's some 10mm bolts around the grille, and this thing pops right out. So first we got to get this cover out of the way. In order to do that, we have to remove these clips here. There's about 10 of those, and there's another 2 on the body color panel piece here. We're going to use a trim panel removal tool to remove those. Now, obviously, hold on to these. We are going to be reinstalling them later. Also with these two, be really careful. You don't want them to fall in your intake. There's a rubber cover around the grille here held on with this one, so we're just going to remove that as well. Ours is a little bit ripped, but that needs to come out regardless. And now you can remove that big plastic trim piece, and that's going to reveal the 4 10mm bolts holding our grille on. Next, we are going to unclip the electronics for our shutter. And we're also going to remove the Christmas tree clip that holds that onto the grille. So now we're going to turn our attention to this body color piece around our headlight here. There's a couple more Christmas tree clips and 10mm bolts along each side of our grille. Now in order to allow us to get at that, all you have to do is give this a pull. This will peel away and allow you to access that. If you wanted to completely remove that, there's 2 7mm bolts in the fender here that will allow you to take this off completely, but all you need to do is peel this back in order to access what we need. So now that we have access to the side of our grille, we're going to remove this Christmas tree and this Christmas tree and this 8mm bolt right here. Then do the same thing to the other side. So with those two 8mm bolts removed, you can now pull up on the grill and then out. It'll pop right out. And you can see our shutter assembly on the back. We're going to be transferring this over to our new grill on the table. So once you put your grill down on the table, make sure you got a nice microfiber rag under it because we are going to be reusing our Ford emblem. Now our shutter assembly is held to the grill with 4 10mm bolts and a couple of push pins up here. So we're going to be removing those. Now these 10mm bolts can be a little bit difficult, being mainly because there's no head to the bolt side of them. So what we're gonna do is probably put some tension down on this washer that will hold it still and allow us to remove the nut off of the top. So what I'm gonna actually do for this one is apply some upward tension with the trim panel removal tool. Now all that's left holding our shutters to the grill are these 4 plastic push pins on top. And now we can pull our shutter assembly away from the grill. And we got one thing left to remove on our grill, and that is the Ford emblem. Now, in order to remove that, you have to remove this nut here. And these are very fragile. This post is actually plastic, and as this nut goes on at the factory, it cuts its own grooves. So be very gentle with this. I'm gonna swap over from the power tools to the hand tools in order to get that off. And there's 2 more on the other side. And with that, our Ford emblem pops right out. So with our Ford emblem off of our factory grill, I just wanted to take a second to lay it on the table next to our replacement grill and point out some of the key differences. And right off the bat here, the key difference is finish. We're ditching this black plastic look for a more refined, mature chrome look. We're also losing this honeycomb on the side of the factory grill entirely, and we're changing out this more open design from the factory for, again, a more refined, closed-off look, as this has more fins in between the 3 bars on the grill. Right here we have our opening for the forward-facing camera, and the design of the 3 bars changes a little bit compared to the stock one. So with those key differences in mind, let me show you how the new replacement grill installs on your truck. So now we're just going to grab our new grill and get started on the install. First step, obviously, is to reinstall the Ford emblem. Our new grill comes with new hardware for the shutter, so I'm just going to take an 8mm socket, loosen those up, and remove them. That one's actually pretty loose. And again for this one. And 2 more on the other side. So now we could drop on our shutter assembly, and in order to help line that up, there's 3 alignment posts at the bottom. Now once we have that in place, we can reinstall our push pins along the top. So now we're going to install our new shutter hardware. And again, this can be kind of tricky. Make sure you put tension on wherever you need in order to get these nuts to seat tight. And same thing for all 4 corners. So all you're gonna do to get this on, again, you wanna start up and then push in and drop the grill into place to make sure it lines up. Now at this point, we're looking pretty good. All we're going to do is install that 8mm bolt here, push in our Christmas tree clips on either side, 10mm bolts up top, put that radiator cover back on with some push pins, plug back in our electronics, and that is going to be it. And now we're just going to plug our electronics back in for the shutters, and we're going to hit the 4 10mm bolts on the top. So next we can install our cover. You peel back the intake a little bit, line it up, and then get all of our push pins back in. And that is going to do it for my review and install of the upper replacement grille in chrome, fitting all 15 to 17 F-150s, excluding the Raptors. Keep it right here at AmericanTrucks.com.